Part 2, we're here. I know that's right. Before anything, if you haven't seen part 1 of this, check it out. It's the start of this top 20 list where I talked about just as many moments as there are in this list. So back to the main video, we're into the top 10, my personal top 10 most iconic moments in Big Brother history. I'm ready to just jump right in because I have a lot of feelings about these top 10. Obviously, these are the best of the best moments in the show's history to me. So if you like this video or any of my videos, stick around. I don't mind, I promise. So let's dive in. We're starting off the list with possibly a hot take already. I think people do have appreciation for this moment, but this season is so despised that I think people will very easily forget to mention this moment. One of those moments that had me legit jumping for joy in real time is the conclusion of Big Brother 19. I know, I'm seriously about to rank Josh Martinez winning Big Brother a top 10 moment in the history of the show. Well, yes and no. By virtue of this moment being the top 10, I guess I have to talk about the fact that Josh won, but this moment is only top 10 because of Paul's dramatic loss. A season dictated by Paul the second that they walked through those doors, one of the most dominant games in Big Brother history. But the ethics and the tactics used during that season skewed a lot more towards bullying and hatred than this super duper amazing gameplay across the season. That landed Paul into the final 2, where we were just begging for any outcome that wasn't Paul winning the game. And going head to head against Josh, some Paul defenders and some Paul haters came together to force a 4-4 vote, with Cody, the man who hates both of them, and some other groups of people, but I'm not gonna talk about that, is the deciding vote.
Congratulations, Josh. You are the winner.
Like, I'm sorry, but this is pure bias on my part. I was so happy that Paul lost, and the fact that I know where I was, how I felt when it happened, that in itself is reason enough to be on the top 20, and even that the top 10 at this point. My number 9 moment is completely different from most of the moments I'll be talking about and have been talking about. A season that will always be remembered and encompassed by one thing, one group, one alliance: the Cookout. Big Brother 23 was the first Big Brother season that implemented the diversity mandate, where at least 50% of the cast will be BIPOC. And in Big Brother 23, the 6 Black House guests, Tiffany, Hannah, Azza, Xavier, Caitlyn, and Derek, all came together to form the Cookout, a secret alliance formed for a purpose bigger than this game. They came together to ensure that this show will crown its first black winner. Every move they made, whether it was good for their personal game or not, was made to ensure that they made the final 6 together. And it worked to perfection, nearly flawlessly. And that moment where Alyssa is taken out and it's just left to be the Cookout, that moment right there just hits so entirely different for me. Would I have loved to see what Tiffany could have done if she played selfishly from the jump? Yes, of course, but there is a bigger goal in store, a bigger prize, something that took way more priority than just this game. And I think that moment is just so perfect and absolutely deserving of a top 10 moment in Big Brother history. It will never be forgotten. I do hate giving twists credit because most Big Brother twists suck and actively tank seasons or parts of seasons. I guess I have to give Big Brother some credit for doing one twist right. The twin twist. When Liz and Julia revealed that they were twins to the house, I was gagged. Okay, I'm joking, obviously. I'm talking about the original twin twist, back in season 5, Adria and Natalie. The twin twist as like a concept is absolutely insane. A pair of identical twins enter the game as just one of the 2 people. After certain intervals of time, they are given 3 minutes to break down everything that has happened or has gone on in the house and literally switch identities. And if they continue to do this and last to a certain point in the game, they will both enter the game as separate players. That's not real. That is straight out of a movie. And it worked to perfection. Like, I will rewatch that clip of the twin twist reveal on repeat just for fun.
It's not these
Now.
guys.
It's Holly.
Sim-
This moment just absolutely boggles my mind. And seeing it done again in BB17 and how quickly that got kind of clocked just gives more credence that this moment has cemented itself as straight up iconic in every definition of the word. Some things I look for when I think memorable or iconic are those jaw-dropping moments. And I feel like we haven't talked about a ton of downright jaw-dropping moments. But number 7 is quite possibly the most jaw-dropping moment in the show's history. The bonus life, 3 minutes, 6 pieces, Caitlyn's puzzle. Big Brother 20 gave us the BB App Store. The App Store giving different powers to different players, and one of those powers was the bonus life, won by Sam. At one of the first 3 evictions, Sam can play the bonus life on one of the evicted house guests, and they would have a chance to compete in a competition to get back into the game. But if it wasn't used during the first 3 evictions, it was automatically used for the 4th eviction. That 4th evictee was Caitlyn Herman, one of the stars of the show thus far. Between you and me and everyone with eyeballs, this competition was clearly made for the person who got evicted to come back into the game. You had 3 whole minutes to move and construct a 6-piece vertical puzzle of yourself. You know, like a couple of legs, a torso, a couple of arms, and a head. You know, basic human anatomy. With everything possible in the universe in Caitlyn's favor, the only thing that could stop Caitlyn was Caitlyn. She completely crumbles under the pressure and fails the 6-piece puzzle in front of all of the live viewers and house guests, even the producers. It's one of the most insane things that had happened on Big Brother, like, ever. Obviously, that's why it's on this list. Caitlyn Herman is a legend and will never be forgotten from this one moment in itself. Number 6 is a very personal pick, a very recent pick, and I think a very deserving pick to be this high up on the list. The greatest storyline in Big Brother history is the moment I will debate with anybody. Taylor Hale claims her rightful crown. Could this moment definitely be higher on the list? Yes. I have no qualms or problems with people who rank this as one of their favorite, not only Big Brother moments, but favorite television moments ever. The woman who was outcasted night 1, borderline bullied by a vast majority of the house, constantly at the center of drama and chaos for other people's insecurities, all while she did nothing to anybody. For that woman who most, including myself, thought was going to be the first boot, makes it to the endgame, gets taken to Final 2, gives the greatest Final 2 speech ever given in the history of the show. I will not hear any other argument. That is the greatest. I am not a shield. I am a sword. I am not a victim. I am a victor. And for her to get a near unanimous jury vote to win the game, that is everything, and that is when my faith in humanity was restored for a moment in time. This is the single greatest ending to a season in the show's history. No other ending to a season is on this list. This was historic. This was iconic. This was empowering, and this was inspiring. I'm so happy I'm able to talk about this moment as a moment in the show's history because Big Brother 24 was Taylor's story. A very deserving number 6 spot on this list. We're into the top 5, the best of the best, the moments I'll never forget about, and have gone back to rewatch these specific moments many times in my life. At number 5 is an incredible play by an incredible player. Don't get too close, we're about to enter Dan's Mist. A journey of something we've never seen up to this point. Dan Giesling somehow finds himself into the Final 4 with Danielle, Shane, and Ian. He has a Final 2 with Ian and Danielle, but Danielle and Shane are a showmance, so that clearly is going to have them skew towards each other. When Danielle won HOH and POV, the stage is set. Her best position is a Final 3 of her, Shane, and Dan, because she's almost guaranteed Final 2 at that point. But Dan has other plans here. He convinced Danielle to use the power veto on him in a Final 4 situation where the only other option is to nominate Shane in his place as a way to keep up the trust with Dan. I don't really know what's going through Danielle's mind at this point. The mist is misting. And at the live eviction, with all the cards perfectly set for Shane and Danielle, Hurricane Dan knocks them down.
Something big in this house, you're gonna have one shot to break up, and this is that shot. So Shane, I'm sorry I have to evict you.
Danielle's face, Ian's pure shock of not being evicted, and Shane giving us nothing like he has all season. It's a deadly combination, and I'm eating all of it up. Dan has done some crazy stuff in his first 2 appearances on Big Brother, but this moment, this one final move of misting his cast while delivering beautiful television, which Dan has always been really good at, absolutely deserves a top 5 moment of all time. I've already talked about a couple of fights that have made the top 20, but this is the fight of all fights, the greatest fight of all time. Big Brother 10, Keisha's birthday. I don't even know how to unpack everything that happens. If you haven't seen the fight, just look it up. If you have seen the fight, like, come on, refresh your memory and look it up. I just want to talk through some of my favorite moments here. Like Jesse in the diary room talking about one of his naps finally paid off. Keisha bitching about April. Keisha then confronting April. Jerry and Rennie somehow getting involved in the fight. You're sticking fingers in people's faces, damn it. It's inappropriate. Jesse overhears another conversation and is just having a blast until he realizes that they know he snitched. Libra versus Jesse, and then the single saddest happy birthday that has ever been sung in human history.
Anybody want cake?
And then everything gets started up again. Ooh la la. It's one of the greatest 15 minutes I could ever watch. There's nothing that I would change. It's so unbelievable. It feels scripted, but it's pure chaos that this cast brought us. And that in itself is incredible. I can't do it justice by just talking about it. You just have to watch it. We're into the top 3. Downright iconic of the iconic. And this one is an oldie, but a goodie. BB3. The final 5. I'm sure everyone can guess what moment I'm talking about now, but I'll give my input on how absolutely electric this moment is. Big Brother 3 introduced the power of veto. However, that was the silver power of veto, where the winner is only allowed to play the veto on someone else, including if one of the nominees won it. Pretty stupid, right? Now, introducing the golden power of veto, allowing anybody to use the veto on whoever they want. Marcellus won this golden power of veto at the final 5 while on the block next to Amy. In his Marcellus ways, on the live show, he struggles with what to do as he doesn't want Jason, the HOH, to have to choose a replacement nominee between Danielle and Lisa because of how confident he is that Amy will just get sent home no matter what. So he doesn't use the veto, shuts the box, kind of, I don't know. But the heartbreak hasn't even started. Danielle and Jason, the secret alliance, slowly realize what they have to do in this moment. The best move they could make is to backstab Marcellus right to his face. And when the vote comes back 1-1, Jason must break the tie.
You should have used the veto. I'm sorry, but I vote to evict you, Marcellus.
The way that Jason delivers that line is one of the greatest things that has ever happened in Big Brother, considering it's top 3 on this list. Gameplay-wise, it's one of the craziest things that's ever happened, and it happened in the 3rd season ever, and it just holds up so incredibly well. Just iconic.
To do this to you.
I'm down to the final 2 moments, and this one at number 2 is probably the hottest take that I have. But god damn it, this moment made me feel things no other moment in Big Brother history made me feel. Taylor's win in BB24 was historic, amazing, satisfying, inspiring, yes. But I believe a moment earlier in the season was the moment where I think the game shifted, the season shifted. And something I've rewatched dozens of times at this point. And that, believe it or not, is the formation of the leftovers. I mean, come on, BB24 was dreadful the first 2 weeks of the show. Genuinely just disgusting to watch. And some of my least favorite Big Brother ever. But you all know the story. This group of people who felt they had been left out of the initial power structure, not given quite a fair shake in this game up until this point, decide to make a change. And I kid you not, the back-to-back episodes where the leftovers are formed up in the HOH room, combined with the Turner backdoor of Amira and Terrence with the speech he gave, combined with the fact that Amira and half the house is genuinely blindsided to the point that Daniel threw a pity vote and didn't even realize he helped the cause to get Amira out of the house, is so beautiful. Some of the best Big Brother I've ever watched. If you think it's a stretch, I put this moment at number 2. Let me know how you felt watching these episodes and see if I'm that crazy for this being this high, because I don't think I am. No matter how much I try to spice things up and put leftovers at number 2, number 1 was never in doubt. Not for a second. It was always fighting to figure out number 2 through 20, because Dan's funeral may never be topped. This move, this moment, this sequence is the most insane thing that has ever happened in the Big Brother house game-wise, and it all worked flawlessly. If you want to see a complete deep dive into this move and every surrounding factor, Taron Armstrong from RHAP has a really nice 2-hour VOD where he goes back and breaks down everything from Dan's funeral. I highly recommend if you want to know the ins and outs of everything this move has to offer. I'll put that down in the description, so check it out if you want to. As to why this is my number 1, Dan Giesling is my GOAT. My favorite player of all time to ever play Big Brother, and he, in this moment, is dead to rights. There is a crazy man in a carrot suit that went to unbelievable heights in this punishment veto competition for the sole purpose to make sure Dan doesn't win and Dan goes home. And after losing the veto and being sent to solitary confinement, all hope is lost for Dan. He's a dead man walking. So, as that dead man walking, he hosts his own funeral. The most iconic moment in the history of the show. And I really hope you all know the rest. Nothing came close to being as iconic as this moment before, and nothing has come close since that moment. I don't know if anything will. It's simply a spectacle. And to all those fortunate enough to watch that in real time, consider yourself lucky for witnessing the greatest player of all time reach his summit. 20 of the most iconic moments in the history of the show. That's a list. Here's to hoping Big Brother 25 gives us a couple more of these top moments. I'll tell you what, Cirie's reveal as a house guest is already creeping up there, but aside from that, that's it for me. Continue to expect some content on the status of Big Brother 25 as we move along, and Survivor is kind of around the corner, and the challenge, and claim to fame. Oh good, there's so much going on right now. I'm just trying to keep my head on a swivel here. I'll catch y'all later. Bye-bye.